It's Nolan. Please take it as a warning. I've been sitting dormant. Took a break from booking my performance. Young Nolan was on it once upon a time. Open my destinations. Used to check the rhyme. Q-tip in the ear. Let me say this clear so you fuck niggas hit me. You niggas suck. You ain't near me. I'm making bucks so I could duck the inquiries. My flow the truth. I can't trust in your theories. These rappers lying now. 6 million ways to demise. We got them dying out. Crying out. What is it your life about? Sincerely, I've been dedicated. Building reputations. Rising expectations. Look at me. Fighting my temptations. I've been serenaded plentifully. My imagery lyrically made with symmetry. I've been hard, killing niggas out the family tree. I feel like Benoit, used to educate them at them seminars. Now it's all about me, shining when I'm grinding. I take my talents to South Beach, they voluntary mouthpiece. I turn it down when I turn around to be flirting for surface, buffing my crown. Bitch, I'm good on my own. I got a wife and a son in my home, so get used to rejection. If any niggas say my name, hope you use protection. I cross niggas for the fun of it. Who's the pedestrian? Burn your canals just to get to the root of my questions. Oh no, LeBron body, I'm all-star, hard body like porn star body and all y'all. Airplane on my phone calls, fuck all the small talk. Press a button, your life rerouted like it's the OnStar. If you been yearning for the real, y'all should have been said it. These cowards would have been dead. Let my win set in. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody is doing well out there. In this particular video, we're going to be getting into Punch from TDE, getting into a verbal spat on Twitter with YouTuber What's the Dirt. All right, now we know What's the Dirt has been in quite a bit of controversy over the last year. Once upon a time, he was looked upon as a trailblazer and breaking down the beef and breaking down lyrics and decoding songs. Unfortunately, he found himself under a bit of a huge microscope after plenty of people were suspecting that he was kind of either hired by Drake or basically tipped off to tip the scales in Drake's favor. He was called out for the whole 37 niggas for every year Drake was alive thing, and ever since he felt a little bit of scrutiny. It seems he took a very interesting approach to content creation and social media. You know what I'm saying? So he's kind of been default Drake since then. You know what I mean? So I've mentioned this a couple times in the last couple days with Punch talking about the division in hip hop right now, the folks that are siding with Kendrick versus the folks that are siding with Drake, and the ideologies that come with both of them. I've mentioned it numerous times, but all of this came to a head when What's the Dirt decided to push back against Punch and basically put words in his mouth and assume what it is that he meant rather than taking his words at face value. Now, I have quite a bit of familiarity with this type of situation, not with What's the Dirt, but with people, viewers in general. You can say something in jest, you can make a general statement. And one thing that I really don't like, it irks me a lot, is when you say one thing, people say, oh, so what you mean by that is this. I am very, very astute with how I try to speak. We're not perfect, of course, but for the most part, if I say something, that's what I mean. When you start adding extras to it, you start putting parsley, you start putting chives on my shit, sour cream, I reject that, right? And it seems that Punch didn't take too kindly to it either, all right? Now, I got put up on this situation a little late, so I saw this content creator by the name of Chick Smooth who pretty much summarized this. So I'm going to pull up his video, and I'm going to give my feedback based on what he outlines here, all right? Shout out to Chick Smooth, you know what I mean? I don't use a lot of your content, but just for this, the sake of brevity, I did. And you be having some fucked up takes sometimes too, I'm gonna be honest, but this was actually pretty straight.
Hey man, I keep telling you guys, pick a side, and stay there. Or maybe not. Now, a couple days ago, you guys all saw Drake walking out with Morgan Wallen, who's got a history of saying the N-word. If you guys missed that video, please make sure you guys go check it out. Now, in that video, I told you guys this. Drake has been friends with Morgan for a long time now. 2 years ago, Drake had Morgan in one of his music videos. But because of the battle with Kendrick, because of how people now perceive Drake, everything he does is going to be scrutinized. It's going to be looked at with a microscope because of the culture right now. People want to find reasons to say, hey, we knew Kendrick was right. Drake was never part of the culture. And I'm not going to fault those people. Drake has been doing.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop you right there, Chigs. People ain't looking for a reason to confirm that Kendrick was right. Everything that Drake has done post battle has openly shown us that Kendrick was right. You know what I'm saying? People already knew the things that Drake was doing prior to the battle. People had already been having discussions about him prior to the battle. People were already a lot of his day one fans were no longer his fans prior to the battle. He's recruited a whole new base of people that support him, and they look vastly different than the people that supported him early on. Remember, Drake used to have a very strong base within black women in his early days. Past 5 years, not so much. That's not to say that black women don't like him or that none do. I'm just saying the base originally was primarily black women that were rocking with Drake. You go back to those Atlanta shows, those Houston shows, around the time So Far Gone came out, look in those crowds. Today, last 5 years, very different. So it's not about people looking for a reason to agree with Kendrick. It's the fact that it's no longer able to be hidden in his actions. We'll continue.
Things that's questionable lately. Now, Punch TDE reacted to Drake walking out with Morgan Wallen. He said, the divide in hip hop is insane. It's like it's two different ideologies. The battle may have been the catalyst, but it feels like it's been bubbling for a while. No matter what the topic is, you can clearly tell who falls on what side. Now, I was with Punch up until this next tweet. He goes on to say, depending on which side was taken in the battle with Drake and Kendrick, that same group of people like the same sports star, same politician, same stance on whatever issue. It's like a social experiment. Now, obviously, these tweets from Punch came from seeing other reactions from Drake fans who simply did not give two fucks that Drake was walking out or supporting Morgan Wallen. A lot of Drake fans, even in my video, said, yo, you guys did not care when it was Lil Durk or Moneybagg Yo that was working with Morgan Wallen. So now that Drake is supporting Morgan, we don't care either. So seeing Drake fans refuse to hold Drake accountable for seemingly supporting somebody with a racist past, that was the main motivation for Punch TDE's tweet. Now, Matt from What's the Dirt, he responded back to Punch TDE. He told him, you are 100% incorrect. This is one massive generalization. This is one of the most ignorant tweets in a while. Punch responds back telling him, hey homie, go play somewhere. What's the Dirt then says, I'm Canadian. I have zero ties to Trump. We do not support him over here. We have zero reason to support him. Drake has millions of fans in this country and globally. What he's saying is insanely ignorant.
All right, so this is the thing. People have been assuming that Drake is basically moving over to the Trump side of things. You know, unfortunately, when you say Drake is transforming into a right-wing grifter, many people associate that with Trump. I've said it numerous times in my videos. I don't know if Drake fucks with him in any fashion. Some people have pointed out that he's said F Trump before and had some other lyrics that weren't all that, savory towards him. But I myself view him as a Trumpian figure. Same way that people look at Elon Musk, same way people may look at an Andrew Tate, same way people may look at an Aiden Ross, same way people may look at an Adam 22. They all share very similar characteristics regardless of what their political ties may be, and many of them do seem to be under a certain set of ideologies, which lean them to that direction, even if they may not publicly display or say it out their mouths, right? So I don't know if Drake fucks with Trump, but many of his characteristics align with that type of person, or to show that he's that type of person. It doesn't mean that they're aligned. It just means that they're similar, right? So What's the Dirt takes this offensively. He says he's Canadian. I have zero ties to him. We do not support him over here. We have zero reason to support him. Drake has millions of fans in this country and globally. What he's saying is insanely ignorant. But nowhere in Punch's tweets did he liken Drake to Trump. Nowhere in his tweets did he say that Drake is a Trump supporter. He associated that by making his own inference and then touting it as fact, which again, the chives, the sour cream, the parsley that Punch never had on his original dish, right? So he jumps the shark. We'll get back to it.
Punch TDE. Punch responds back saying, ignorant, huh? You still counting niggas? Or, in your head, did you count them with the hard ER? Trying to poke fun at What's the Dirt's Family Matter video, where he claimed Drake said the N-word 37 times for each year of his life, which last year he caught a lot of heat for. What's the Dirt responded back to him saying, there you go, buddy. Deflect from the topic when you're met with logic. And
I don't feel like he's deflecting from the topic. It's, why are you speaking on these matters? Nobody invited you to speak on these matter. Nobody asked you to respond to his tweet. You assumed something. So now you're calling me ignorant. Well, how ignorant was it when you were counting niggas? 37 to be exact. Are you still counting them? I think that's a fair question. Now, if you don't like the question, that's cool. But is that deflecting from the topic? I don't think so, because he was already saying, based on who you like, there's a lot of similarities, because people typically will go up for who they identify with or see pieces of themselves within, right? That's pretty much a human thing.
was not backing down from Punch. He shot back at Punch saying you need to learn how to count. You can't keep track of how many creeps you got on your roster.
Last thing you need to be talking about is counting. We're going to be all the way real here, sir. You shouldn't even talk about Count Dracula, okay? You shouldn't even be teaching your kid how to count by yourself. Send them to a tutor, okay? Because once you counted 37 niggas and put that out loudly, proudly, with a smile on your face, you got disqualified from all things count, okay? I don't give a fuck if you go and pay cash at a store, have your wife count the change, okay? Some things are just DQs, okay?
In reference to the current TDE lawsuit, Punch responds saying, I'd love to have a conversation with you in person. Let me know. Matt responds back saying, sure thing. I'll be in LA in July. Now, I'm going to say this, probably not the best to give up your drop if you're What's the Dirt, and definitely do not meet up with Punch. It's not going to be a meet and greet. It's not going to be an interview. It's going to be a full court press. But I do agree that there is a divide in hip-hop right now, and it's all because of this Drake and Kendrick battle from last year. Even with my own videos, every time I make a pro-Drake video, Kendrick fans get in the comments and say, Chigs, you're being paid by OVO, and the same with a pro-Kendrick video. Drake fans get in the comments and say, Chigs, you're a K-bot, you're being paid by TDE. But personally, I think the bigger issue comes from Drake being a global star. That means Drake has fans that's not fans of hip-hop.
And we say that all the time. But let me go back to Chigs commenting on What's the Dirt letting Punch know he's going to be in LA in July, and basically saying not to give him the drop. It's not going to be a conversation. It's not going to be an interview. It's going to be a full court press. One thing I don't like about that statement is you're assuming because Punch wants to have a conversation with What's the Dirt or Matthew that is automatically going to be violent. I feel like that has an inherent anti-black sentiment. I'm not saying you are anti-black in any way. I'm not going to put that on your name. But when you make a statement like that about a black man who just happens to be on the West Coast, when have we seen Punch behave in a aggressive manner that would assume he's going to press this person? You know what I'm saying? He says, I want to have a conversation with you. Meaning, let's iron some things out man to man. Let's have a real conversation. Let's get off the internet. Let's find some middle ground of understanding, because based on who I know you to be online, I'm perceiving anything and everything you say under a certain light, and perhaps you're viewing me in the very same manner. So let's actually get in a room, have a conversation, form some understanding, and move forward. I think that is fair. You know what I'm saying? But to just assume that it's going to be a full court press, you're automatically assuming that Punch has violent intentions. Not to mention, people are going to associate his name Punch with he gonna punch his motherfucking lights out, which, again, this is a businessman. This is somebody who has been in the business for very many years. He's a professional. We haven't heard of Punch conducting himself in that manner. Not to mention, Matthew tried to throw that whole you can't count how many predators or whatever is on your team. We haven't actually proven that whole TDE Linda Luna thing. It's still currently open. You know what I'm saying? It's being presented to a judge. They're going through the proceedings and the proper measures to try to get that ironed out. If it's proven to be true, we can address that as it needs to be. You know what I'm saying? But at this time, we don't have all the facts. All we have is a complaint with allegations. We do know that TDE is being held responsible for doxing, or at least is being added to the docket for outing the identities of Linda Luna and the other young lady, Miss Alteri. But outside of that, we can't really speak to Punch, because Punch wasn't even named in it. He ain't had shit to do with it. But I'll continue and let homeboy go.
Only like Drake. They're only fans of Drake. So that means they worship Drake. Anything Drake likes, they support. Anybody Drake affiliates with, they support as well. And you really don't see them criticize Drake too much, if at all. Now, you can also make the same case for Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick still has fans that would not criticize him no matter what he does. And those same fans will get pissed off if anybody criticizes him.
I'm not here to say Kendrick is perfect, but what is it that we need to criticize him about exactly? The nigga just drops music and goes. I don't know. Y'all feel free to let me know what Kendrick is supposed to have been criticized for. Now, if people critique his music, and you know, I don't find any fault if somebody says, "Hey, this song ain't my favorite" or whatever. I'm gonna be honest and do the same thing. But I still don't understand what he needs to be like publicly criticized for. He don't be out here to do anything worth critiquing.
Because we see Drake not rocking with LeBron anymore, guess what? A lot of Drake fans are not fucking with LeBron either. The same goes for DeMar DeRozan, Russell Westbrook, and anybody else Drake is no longer cool with. So to a certain point, Punch is actually right. But overall, you're still generalizing. You're putting all Drake fans under one umbrella, and I don't think that's the case. You guys get in the comments below. What do you guys make of this back and forth between Punch and What's the Dirt? Do all Drake and Kendrick fans like the same people, politician, sports stars? Post your comments below. Subscribe to my channel, like this video. I'll see you guys later, man.
I'll answer the question. No, I don't think that the fans are like the same people. But I do think many of the fans do identify with a lot of the same things, especially if you take it from the lens of online. Now, the people who like these people, and I think a lot of times we overlook the casual fans that are not partaking in these online debates, conversations, issues. I think some of those people don't really give a fuck about all of the extra layers and all of the extra debate and the extra characteristics. I think they just want their music. They play the shit when they're going to work, picking up their kids, picking up food. They may go to a concert here and there. They may go to both artists' concerts. You know what I'm saying? There are certain people who are just connected to what is put out musically, and then they go about their motherfucking life. However, the people that are in the trenches, in the weeds, that are doing all the searches, that are watching all the videos, that are having debates on online, I do believe that a lot of those people share a lot of the same beliefs. And even when they don't, they won't allow what their other beliefs are to go against people from their group, because we got to uphold this artist. So even if I know you dead ass wrong, I'm going to support you in order to support Drake. I have seen a lot of that as well. And to be honest, I've also encountered some of that same behavior when it comes to Kendrick. I was just calling it out the other day. People that support false narratives just to continue to support him blindly, which I don't think he needs. He doesn't need lies to uphold his greatness. He doesn't need false narratives to support what he's doing. And as an MC, he damn sure don't need us as fans to treat him like he's some little kid that needs they big brother to come defend them, when this nigga pokes his chest out and shoots at whoever the fuck he wants to, whenever the fuck he wants to, and will come out on top. Let that nigga do his shit. Let that nigga hop out, do his stuff, and hop back in. Me and the homies. So I do think as people, as fans, we need to keep all of those things in check, keep our emotions in check, keep our minds, our hearts in check. And, you know, when confronted with misinformation, correct it. Don't uphold it on all sides. All right. But that's my assessment of the situation. Let me know what y'all think of this down below in the comments. Let me know what you think of What's the Dirt even jumping into the conversation with Punch. Let me know what y'all think of Punch even engaging with What's the Dirt, because I think he could have easily ignored him and went about his business. But for whatever reason, on that day, he decided it was a worthy back and forth. And let me know what you think of, you know, the prospect of What's the Dirt going to LA to actually have a conversation with Punch surrounding all of this drama. All right. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be good out there. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but you run no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.